new Autumn of Agony fight is here, this time with a Heimdall, which I feel like it's kind of reminiscent of when Iron Fist was a boss, where it's like you take a defender that no one would have expected to be an Autumn of Agony boss, and just somehow make their kit, or like their one defining feature that can make them an annoying boss, and then just exploit it with the nodes. And I actually think they did a pretty decent job of that. I don't like the fight. Like, if I'm being honest with you, this is probably my least favorite Autumn of Agony fight we've had. But it's not terrible. It's not like Absorbing Man or Onslaught. Those were like definitely my most hated ones. It's a decent fight. And the objectives that they gave were not with champs I was really going to have a hard time soloing with. At least my account was going to be pretty set for this. I'm using Bullseye for the Merc one, firstly, which his evade is definitely very nice if you get caught with the Unstoppable. And then I think his True Strike is going to nullify the evade, but if he doesn't have that, then you're not going to need to worry about it. We also have Bullseye's personal True Accuracy to not make the auto block trigger all the time and stuff if we need to. But this was kind of how I had success with Bullseye. Sometimes just dropping the SP2s into his heavy attack was actually not intentional, but it ended up working out just fine because we just stun them and then we can follow up with a very hard-hitting SP1 actually. So the SP2 into SP1 rotation that I kind of accidentally started doing might be like the best way to go about it, because originally I was just doing SP2s only after the evade. But I was like, you know what, this also works, why not go for it? And yeah, it ended up making this fight only about 2 minutes. He's down to 21% here. We have the Fury up, so I'm doing decent damage when it is active on my basic attacks. And now I think I'm just going to get my Killer Instinct back active, and then we're going to go for the SP2. Interesting thing about this fight is, like, the main gimmick is going to be trying to counter his heavy attack when it's unstoppable. I find that if your spacing is correct, the easiest way to do it is just after the first hit. This is very much a spacing control type fight, so it's not always the easiest thing, but with practice I was able to get the hang of it pretty fast. Next objective is going to be Cosmic and Metal, and if you have Beta Ray Bill, this is one of the most laughable fights for you, because holy crap, Bill destroys this fight. His grit buff off his heavy attack kind of cheeses the whole thing, because it just means that if Heimdall throws a heavy attack, you do not give a crap. You can hit him during it anyway, and then just remove the Unstoppable node just like that. And you don't even have to remove the Unstoppable node, because if you have grit active, the Unstoppable node just doesn't take any effect, right? So drop the SP1 here. We got those 6 shocks, they detonate, and he's already down to 67. We got another SP1 coming up. Beta Ray Bill with Matador is pretty ridiculous because you're just getting your special attacks without having to use that many basic attacks. It's really, really nice. And then we drop the SP1 with my second Fury. It does enough damage to bring him all the way down to 18%. And then we're going to accidentally go to an SP2. I did not mean to go for an SP2 here. So I actually mess up. I should remove that one pause charge I have on me before I go for the SP2. But the SP2 actually kills him anyway, which I didn't expect to happen, but I am not complaining whatsoever. And then he goes down in 1 minute and 19 seconds. Next up is Dragon Man. From this point forward, just for full clarity, I'm running a 15% attack boost because I have like 11 in my overflow, so why the heck not? This is a rank 5 unascended Dragon Man. He also does not have a relic. I knew this going into it, but I just honestly did not want to go through the hassle of redoing all my relics just to give him one when I didn't think I'd be using the relic that much anyway. So yeah, we're just going to be spamming SP2s with Dragon. This objective, the Mystic from 2020, was my least favorite objective of the 4. Especially since they completely destroyed Tigra for this fight, which just... Okay, I'm going to go into a small rant here, but the way the node is worded, it makes me think that you can still apply Neutralize, it just won't stop buffs. That's how it makes sense in my mind based off of the wording, but that is not how it works. You just can't apply the Neutralize whatsoever. So once again, it's another boss that has something stupid that completely destroys Tigra for it, and I hate it. I hate when they do that, because the neutralize should still be applying based off of the way the node is worded, yet it still doesn't. And I cannot stand when they keep using that node, because, again, I should be having a neutralize, but I can't. So, whatever, it's annoying, but I just kind of have to deal with it and use Dragon Man instead, which is fine. He does a pretty decent job for this fight. This was, like, still my least favorite fight of the four. Of the four objectives, using Dragon Man was still my least favorite, but he still gets the job done. Probably the best option of the mystics that you have access to. Mojo probably does a decent job, and even Sorcerer Supreme probably does pretty good. But I think if you have a decently ranked Dragon Man, you're kind of chilling in this fight. And maybe Mojo is better. I can't really say for certain when I haven't used him, but Dragon Man just made a lot of sense to me, so that's just what I went with. Threw his special attack into his block on accident. I kind of thought he was going to throw an attack into me when I dropped it. He did not, so that could have been pretty bad, but at least we're going to have even bigger burst damage on my next battery trigger, so that's cool. I need him to throw an SP1 here. He doesn't really feel like it. Then he finally does, and then I'm going to have to remove the unstoppable node once again, which I can do really fast because he wanted to throw the heavy. Super cool. Get him cornered, so we do a bunch of extra burst damage, and then we do a 435,000 burst based off of the battery node, and here I definitely know another SP2 of mine is going to kill him, which the unstoppable node is still on cooldown, so I can go for it right there, and that does the trick. And that fight took me basically 3 minutes, not too bad. So next up, we're using Deathless SheHulk for the Deathless SheHulk Awakening, which is really cool. This is the only Deathless champion that I actually have interest in using. I have tried the other three, I just don't like them. If you saw my ranking every champion of last year video, you'll see that Vision and King Groot are very low on my list, because I just don't like the characters and don't think they're that good. SheHulk I do think is actually going to be pretty good. And she was pretty decent for this fight. When she doesn't crit that often, it does feel a little bad, because her damage being affected by armor ups and traumas, her damage being highly affected by armor ups is kind of annoying, especially when the traumas are scaling off of your hit damage and not general attack rating like SheHulk's would. But that's okay. We're still going to do a pretty good job in this fight. When he starts to just charge heavies instead of drop specials with so much like taunt on him from the traumas, it does feel pretty bad, but it's whatever. So we're going to get the Awakening after doing this. I did rank 2 my SheHulk as well, because I'm sure I'm going to need her for the Necropolis challenge, and I'm probably going to use her quite a bit in this upcoming war season as well, so I'm going to go ahead and get ready for that. There I accidentally ignored the unstoppable node, but he did not decide to punish, which is nice. So here, I'm going to bait another special, and then we're going to get another Debilitate up. Do you need 2 SP3s? Definitely not, but you know, why not, I guess. It gives me the 2 Debilitates, it refreshes all my buffs. It's overall just very helpful. Refreshes all my debuffs, I should say. And then they just last a lot longer, so I don't have to worry about them falling off. Which, in this fight, it's not going to be too often where they would, like, start falling off, but, you know, I'll take any help I can get. So, when the special attack crits, like I think it did there, because of how much extra numbers the battery jumped, it feels really good. When it doesn't, because of his massive armor rating, it does feel pretty bad, but whatever, you just kind of have to deal with it. His armor ups are just going to be a part of this fight, and the only way you can get rid of them is Pulverize, like Beta Ray Bill had, so I find that pretty cool, how Bill was just the perfect objective for Cosmic and Metal, and Pulverize was just the perfect counter to this fight. Pretty cool design choice there. So, we have 16 traumas. He auto-blocked me a bit there, but we dropped the SP2, no crits, so that's unfortunate, but it's not a big deal. We have 19 traumas now. We're hitting like a freight train, as SheHulk does. and remove the unstoppable node, go for an intercept there, pretty nice, beta special, 21 traumas, gonna go for another SP2 right here. Do we get any crits? We get none, it looks like, so that's annoying, but one more SP2 will hopefully do the trick, possibly 2 of them. Trigger the unstoppable node there, use the relic, push him to another bar of power, knock him down so he's more likely to drop his special, and then go for an SP2 here with 92 battery at the start, and then we get a big crit jumping from 99 to 210 battery, and then he goes down. So yeah, pretty fun fight with Deathless SheHulk, pretty not difficult fight overall. I disliked this fight compared to the other Autumn of Agony fights. Like, I thought Prowler was pretty good, Jabari was really good. What was the other one we had? I genuinely don't even remember. The one that was literally the week before. I think it was pretty good. I don't even remember what it is, but I did enjoy it quite a bit. So, you know, there's going to be a miss somewhere for me, but I'm sure overall this fight was pretty well designed and stuff. So, that's going to be it for me. I hope this video was helpful to you, and I will see you in the next one.